Hey everyone, it's Eric at Just Add Power, and in this video, we're looking at how to control a video wall with RTI's Integration Designer 11. We'll start with an overview of the project as a whole. So we've got 4 sources already in the system. We got DirecTV, Roku, Blu-ray, gaming system, and on our left menu, they're all represented under sources: DirecTV, Roku, Blu-ray, and game system. And then we've already got 4 just normal rooms with single TVs in them. Here in the left menu, we've got our master bedroom, and our living room, and our patio, and our theater. And we're adding another room. That's going to be the room with our video wall. It's the game room. And we're going to build a 2x2 video wall. So we've already got the TVs loaded. We got our top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right TVs. These are just TV drivers. And this is the part that's part of every Integration Designer 11 project. You got your rooms and you got your TVs in those rooms, and we got our sources for the system. So let's start to look at how the Just Add Power is going to be managing this. So first, we've got our Just Add Power switching driver. So we've already got this loaded for our regular TVs. We've already configured it with the IP address of one of the receivers in our system, because this is an AMP system. So let's pull up our report file. Here we've got our 4 receivers in our master bedroom, living room, patio, and theater. And for control, switching control, all we need is one IP of one of those devices. So that's what you're seeing here in our primary device. And then if that device as our control box goes down, we've got a backup secondary. We use our first transmitter as our backup secondary. Now we need to add the video wall to this. So we actually made this system larger. We expanded our number of outputs. So now we're at 8 outputs. We see our driver just expands. We're going to go down here. We're going to go game room top left, game room top right, game room bottom right. So this is the switching driver. This is what lets us change what's being shown on each of the TVs in all the rooms. So we've got those 4 TVs in the game room. We've got a 2x2. Now I can make them watch whatever I want to, but they're still just single screens. We want to be able to put them into and out of video wall mode. So we need another driver that lets us change video wall mode. You get that driver on our website. It would have been downloaded with the AMP driver. So you probably already have it if you've done the regular matrix part, but we're going to go ahead and look at it anyway. We've got our RTI, and we're doing an AMP standardized system. So we're grabbing our RTI driver download, and we're grabbing that driver package right here. So we're going to click that, download it. We're going to move it into our Integration Designer 11 driver folder, wherever your folder is that holds all those drivers. Mine is right here. So we've got the, inside that download, there was the switching driver. That's the one we already got. And then the MultiTxRxComms. This is the driver that does our video wall changes, tiling control, endpoint control, essentially everything that's not matrix switching. So there's 2 drivers. We got one for the matrix switching, and then this is the one that's going to do all our video wall stuff. So we're going to head back over into ID11, and we're going to get that added. So we'll go to Device at the top left, click Add, and it's under drivers, but this isn't a system. This is a user library. So we look down here. I have 2 copies. I want this one. It's version 6.3. That's the latest one. I must have an old one floating around in there somewhere. We're going to add that to our global room, hit next, and this is our Just Add Power video wall controller. All right, we've got that added into the project right down here. And up here as well, it's also referenced as a SOIP console CEC. That driver does a lot. So we're going to move that guy up here. And then we need to configure this. We're going to configure this very similarly to the matrix driver as well. So we tell it what config software. We used AMP. We need a receiver IP address. This is just our base controller receiver. So we're going to use the master bedroom, but actually, you know what? It's part of the video wall. So let's use the video wall as our controller. That'll be .5. Doesn't really matter again, but we just need 1. And then we want to tell it how many devices is it going to be controlling at once. So there's only 4 TVs in the wall. So our max sockets, that's the number of devices it can talk to at a time, is 4. Making it larger, 16 is not really going to cause any problems. This is the larger this number, the more memory the processor uses. So it can go up to 32 simultaneous devices, but it also makes it a large file on your processor. So we want to try to keep it the maximum size that we need. And since we're only managing 4 video wall devices, we're going to leave it at 4. So we still get quick response for the smallest possible size. We're not doing endpoint in this one. We're not doing image pull. We do need our devices. So we've got our transmitters, which we don't really need to name transmitters and receivers, but it's helpful for knowing where everything is. So if we look at our report file, let's stick that over there. Let's get our ID11 over here, and let's get our names. We've got DirecTV, TV, Roku, Blu-ray, gaming, and then if we go down to our TVs, we've got master bedroom. All right, we've got all our stuff entered. All right, let's just blow this back up so it's our whole screen. Now these names are going to come into play later because they do get used as variables in the program. It's the same reason we named things in the switching driver, because you want to ask, well, what is output 1? So you don't have to just remember, oh, it's master bedroom. Oh, well, that's going to show up in our macros later. So we pretty much copied the information from the switching driver into the endpoint control driver. So now we've got our game room. We actually have to set up how the sources work in the game room. So we're going to go down here to the bottom left. We're going to look at the activities for that room. I'm not going to mess with the TVs. We're going to get rid of those, but I do want my gaming system. So we've got our 5 sources in this room. We got our DirecTV, Roku, Blu-ray, and gaming system. I don't want to weather. Those are our 4 actual sources. So what I need to do is when the user picks the game room, they're going to get a list of sources. So they're going to pick this source, and then what activity do I want to run when they pick the DirecTV? Well, I'm going to have this built so that when they pick the DirecTV, my 2x2 video wall is going to show the DirecTV on all 4 TVs just as one big picture. And in Just Add Power, that's actually 2 separate functions. So the first function is I need everything to switch to watch the source, the DirecTV. And then the second function is I need to put those TVs into video wall mode, because I won't know if they're in video wall mode or not when the user presses it. So I need to make sure to set video wall mode when they hit the button. So we're going to start here on our commands on the side, and we're going to do our switching first. So if you watch the switching control video, some of this should look familiar. We're going to go select a function. We're going to select our input, then output. So I'm going to pick my input, which is my DirecTV. So now the DirecTV is selected, so it's the option. Then I'm going to go down here to a command, and I'm going to do the same thing, input, then output. But this time, I'm going to do an output range. What that does is it lets me switch a group of televisions at the same time. So if I did set output, I could do the top left, but then I do top right, bottom left, bottom right, but it would switch top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right. It looked kind of disjointed. So we don't really want to do them one by one. We want to do all of the TVs switching at the same time. So I'm going to go down to my driver, input, then output, set output range. Now for this one, you do have to know the range of the receivers. So again, we go over to our handy dandy report file. I've got my 4 video wall receivers. If we go over here to our output column, we'll see that those are outputs 5, 6, 7, and 8. So I'm just going to tell it I want to switch receivers 5 through 8 when I select this activity. Now that's the switching portion, but we said the second half is I have to do video wall change. So that's going to be another command. It's going to happen after all of that, And now's where the extra driver comes into play. That's our SOIP console CEC driver. We do have a function in here for video wall control. There's a few of them. We're going to use set full wall, because what it will do is it will build a full wall out of however many TVs we give it. So again, we have to tell it how many receivers, which receivers are in the wall. So if you think about it, we got 5, 6, 7, and 8. We'll look at our thing. So we've got top left, then top right, then bottom left, then bottom right, like you're reading a book. And that's how this function accepts them. So you have to do the top left TV, then the top right, bottom left, bottom right, just like you're reading top left, top right, like you're reading a page. So we do need these to be in order. So we're going to do receivers 5 through 8. And then the second box is how many rows are in this video wall. There are 2 rows in this wall. And then how many columns are in this. In ID9, it actually gives you a title for these, but in this one, they're just little boxes. So first one, rows. Second one, columns. It's a 2x2. If I was doing a super giant wall, like a 4x4, 4 rows and 4 columns, I just changed this to be 4x4, but then I'd also need a lot more receivers. So we're going back to 2x2. And then the last one is we need to tell it how are the TVs oriented. So we have a landscape, which is all TVs are just normal. We have portrait, 90 or 270 if TVs are vertical. And then inverted top row is if the top row of TVs is flipped upside down, but the bottom row is normal. For our system, we've got a landscape video wall. And that's the second half. So now when the user says, I want to watch DirecTV, it's going to pick the DirecTV, it's going to set them to watch the DirecTV, and it's going to put them into video wall mode. So all we really need to do now is we need to copy that for all of our other sources. So I'm going to go to my Roku. We're going to do our activity selected. We're going to paste. And then the only thing I have to change is I have to change the input because I'm going to the Roku. It's still the same TVs. It's still the same video wall mode. So we're going to keep going. Blu-ray, activity selected, Blu-ray, game system, activity selected, paste, game system. So now my user's got 4 buttons to put the big video wall, DirecTV, Roku, Blu-ray, game system on the big screen. But we're not done yet because the best thing about a Just Add Power video wall is it's not just a video wall. So we've got our big 2x2 picture, but we also want to be able to do 4 individual pictures. So we want to give the user the opportunity to say, well, I want the DirecTV in the top left, the Roku in the top right, the Blu-ray in the bottom left, the gaming in the bottom right, or really anywhere you want them. And that's where we're going to do a little bit of a custom interface design here. Now, I've done a lot of this already on my own. So we're going to go up here to device. We're going to add a device. And so if you needed to do this yourself, you would start with a blank page set. But I've already done a little bit of work here. So I took a blank and then I kind of judged it up a little bit. And so I've got a 2x2 video wall blank already built. It's just got a bunch of buttons and stuff on it. So we're going to add that as a source to our system. We're going to call that the game room video wall. Add that guy in there. It's going to get added to our system. And we'll close that guy down. So now if we look in our room, we've actually got another source available, another video source. So let's turn that source on for that room. And we've named this Watch Multiples. So if they want to watch DirecTV, it's full wall. Roku's full wall, Blu-ray full wall, Play Game full wall. But if I want to watch multiple videos, the first thing I want to do when the user selects that is I want to change it so that I've got 4 individual pictures on the 4 TVs. So we're going to go down to our activity selected, and we're going to do kind of the opposite of what we were doing with the video wall. We're going to, instead of making all of them part of one wall, we're going to make them all individual TVs again. So we're going to take our command, drag that over. We've got our console CEC driver. We've got our video wall control, and then we need to set standard wall mode. So we're not going to do master bedroom. This one we do have to do one at a time. So we'll start with the top left. And I want to say it is going to be video wall standard mode, but it's going to be a 1x1. That's a single TV. And then these other ones are number of rows and number of columns, but it's just all 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And that's just the top left TV. So we're going to copy that, paste, paste, paste. And we're just going to change top right, bottom left, and bottom right. So now all 4 of the TVs go into single screen mode. Now there's an optional thing we can do in here too, because right now, let's say you start on the DirecTV. So they're watching a full wall DirecTV and they go, well, I want to watch 4 things. So they're going to hit watch multiples. And right now, all it does is change mode. So you're technically watching 4 DirecTV pictures in each corner. So what I often like to do is I like to take some switching commands and put them in here as well. So we're going to do just some regular switching commands. We're going to do single or all outputs, so switch output. And I'm going to say I want the DirecTV to go in the top left when they hit that button. I want the, whoop, that's not what I wanted. I wanted this command. I wanted to copy this command, and then I want to paste. There we go. And I want the Roku on the top right. I want the Blu-ray on the bottom left. And then I want the game system on the bottom right. If you have more than 4 sources, you may not want to do default sources because you never know what they actually want. But since we've just got 4 sources, 4 TVs, when they hit the watch multiples, it's just going to go boop, 4 individual screens and switch to 4 individual sources at the same time. But we've also got another way to give them access to all those sources. So let's say they have way more than 4 sources and you have no idea what they're going to want to put in each corner. They're going to have to kind of manage that themselves. Well, that's where our page comes in. So here on the left side, we've got our video wall game room. We've actually got a page on the interface that when they select the game room, they get this video wall page. And this is also part of that source bundle. I've got a little bit of information. This is text down here just showing us what's watching what. There's a variable on this. So if we go text, I've just got it set up to say, what is the top left game room TV currently watching? There's a variable in the switching driver for that. And so since you can't see my TVs, you just see my screen, this is kind of the confirmation that what we're doing is actually working. And up here at the top, I've got a wall on and a wall off button. So once they decide they want to watch multiples, right in this interface, they can actually go back and forth between the two video wall modes. They don't have to like back out of the room and then pick the DirecTV. I mean, they still could, but that's an extra step that I'd rather not have them doing. So I made a wall on and a wall off section. And through the magic of layers in RTI, we can kind of use these buttons as our indicators. So what I've got here is I've got wall on and I've got a layer here that I've got hidden. So the idea is the user says, well, they enter this and it's a wall off. So they're going to immediately be met with this page. So they've got their sources along the left side, and then they've got the 4 TVs, just kind of a little diagram that goes along with that. If they say, well, I don't want to do that anymore, I want to do wall on, they get just one large screen, still those same 4 sources. Gives the user lots of options. So the way they land on this page is by choosing multiple sources. So we're actually going to start with wall off. So let's start from that position. So we've got a little tag here for wall off. So when we turn the wall off, I want to do a couple of things. First thing, I want to do a macro where I want to make the wall off window appear. So that layer's got to be enabled when I select wall off, but I need to associate that with a flag. So let's go over to our flags and we'll make a flag for wall off. And we're also going to need one for wall on. And the way that reverse states work, you'll notice I need one for each. You might say, well, if the wall off is off, then that means it's on, but So I've got a wall on flag and a wall off flag. We'll go back to the wall off. And when the wall is off, I'm going to do a flag. We're going to set the wall off flag, and we're going to clear the wall on flag. So it's not on, it is off. And then you'll see we'll flip this when we get to the wall on part. But now that we've got these flags, we actually need them to happen when they select that source as well. So we're going to go back to our activities. We're going to do our game room video wall, activity selected. And then when they select this, I also need to set those flags. I need to set the wall off flag, and I need to clear the wall on flag. Because when they're picking multiples, they're saying, I want the wall off, so you're going to get the page for wall off. So now I've got the flags. Flags are doing their thing. But when I hit wall off, I want this window to appear. So my top right layers, wall off, I'm going to go to layer properties. I'm going to set visible to macro flags, wall off. So when that flag is enabled, I'm seeing this page. You'll see it kind of like updates a bunch of stuff. All right, so now that the wall is off, I know I've got my 4 sources. The way we set the macros, it's going to go DirecTV, Roku, Blu-ray, gaming. But this is, what if I had way more than those 4 sources and I needed a lot, so I need to give them options. So the way I've got this set up is that they're going to pick the source, and then they're going to pick the position they want to put it in. So I'm going to pick their DirecTV. So that's our select input 1 tag at the bottom. And I've already got a macro for that. It already selects input, then output. So source, then TV. I've got the DirecTV set, and I've got the variable for when it is selected. This button will change states. So I'm going to hit it, for example, and it'll go reversed, boop, and it'll light up like that. And I've got that for each one of these. So we've got DirecTV, then Roku, that's our input 2. So select input 2 for our flag. Then we've got select, what? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? There it goes. Input 3. And then for our gaming, we've got select input 4. So now once I've selected my input, I'm going to then set my TV. So I'm going to go down here, set output 5. And when I want to set output 5, we've got a global, and this is going to be our second half of our command. So we get our switching driver, we do our input then output, and I want to set output. And so I've got the top left TV selected, so I'm going to set the top left. And the instant I hit that button, it's going to change. So we're going to copy that. We'll put that on all the other ones. We'll go set output 6 and global macro paste, game room top right, set output 7, global paste, bottom left, and set output 8, global paste, bottom right. And then the last thing that I like to do, you don't have to, is I like to give text feedback on these. So right here, they're going to hit it. It's going to set the DirecTV to the top left. And then if I go to my text, we've got one more variable we can use. If we go down to the JPSW switching driver, we go current input name. What I want to know is I want to know what is the name of the input on the top left game room TV. So game room TL current input name. And there's my text. There's my text. We're going to do that for each one. Got our variable, switching driver, input name, top right, current input name. Bottom left and bottom right. Input name, bottom right. So now let's do the other half of it. So we've got the wall off. Let's do the wall on now. So we'll get rid of the wall off. We'll turn on the wall on. So what we really kind of need to do is we need to do the opposite. For the wall off, we need to do, we were setting the off and clearing the on, so we just kind of need to do the opposite. So we've got our wall on. Let's just copy those. Copy. Global macro. Yes, there we go. Paste. All right, so we just need to clear and set. Clear the off, set the on. All right, so now the wall is on. And then we need to go up to our layer properties. And we need to make it so that it's visible when the wall on flag is set. All right, so now we'll hit wall off, and that'll show up. We hit wall on, and that'll show up. And so these icons on the left, these ones, they look like they're the same buttons, but they're actually different because they actually need to do slightly different things. So when I pick the wall on, the way I like to do it when we're doing video walls is we're going to pick the TVs first. We're going to do output, then input. So for my wall on, I'm going to set the flags. Then I'm also going to select the 4 TVs in my wall. So I got my switching driver. We're going to do output, then input. So I'm going to select my output. We're going to pick the top left. We're going to grab that. We're going to copy. We're going to paste, paste, paste. And we're going to select all 4 of the TVs in the wall because we want them to switch together. We don't want them to switch like bang, 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 bang. And then, of course, we have to put those TVs into video wall mode as well. So we'll get our last command. We did the same one earlier when we pick like the DirecTV, it does the whole wall. So we'll do our CEC, video wall control, set full wall for receivers 5 through 8. Those were our wall TVs. I've got the TV selected, and now I just need to set the input on them. So I'm going to go set input 1, and I've already got that built. It's going to set the DirecTV. And it's going to actually throw us to the DirecTV page when we hit it. So that we'll select the DirecTV, and then we can actually control the DirecTV if we want to. You don't have to do the page jump. It's just kind of a nice thing. And then we just repeat that for all the other ones. So we go Roku. We go set input 2. We got our Roku. And then you do the page jump if you want. Set input 3. And set input 4. And then lastly, just to give a little text feedback, I can go here on my text, and I've already put this. I've got the current input name of, and it actually doesn't matter since we don't have a variable for like the wall. I just set it to the top left one because if the whole wall is watching the Roku, then of course the top left one's watching the Roku. So we've got that. So we'll just push that to the processor and see what that looks like. And I've already done that, so let's just grab that. All right, so we start with our game room. So we pick our game room from our list. And then we've got our options for the full walls. So hit DirecTV, and everything will flip to DirecTV. TV's going to video wall mode, and I've got my DirecTV menu. If I want to do Roku, I'll hit Roku. Look at the text down here in the bottom right. Everything flips to Roku. I've got a video wall. Same with our Blu-ray and our gaming. All right, but the other part is we want to watch multiple things. So when I hit watch multiples, it's going to jump to my wall phase, all 4 sources on different things. and I've got a DirecTV, Roku, Blu-ray, gaming system. So this is my wall off option. If I hit DirecTV, I can, there we go, DirecTV, I can put DirecTV in all 4 corners. It's kind of boring because I'm just watching 4 DirecTVs. Put the Roku down here, Blu-ray, gaming, I'm getting that feedback. Then if I decide I want to switch to wall mode, I hit wall on, and we'll put the Blu-ray in the top right corner, or left corner, blah, everywhere, essentially. All right, and we got it. And that's how you set up a video wall with Just Add Power and RTI Integration Designer 11. So as a small recap, I remember it's 2 parts. First one is you have to do the input on all of your TVs on your wall. And then second thing you got to do is you got to set wall mode. And then you just, if you want to watch different things on the TVs, you just got to remember you're switching in and out of wall mode. So if you have any questions or need any further assistance, please contact support, and thanks for watching.